to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check, waifu, waifu. Ma, tell him, is that you?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
This is episode 179 of Mic Check, Waifu, Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Lube Complex and Don'tTalkShop.com. It's also brought to you by Patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu Waifu. Make sure you go to Patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu Waifu and support the podcast. We greatly appreciate you all for supporting us in our dream here that we are creating. There's going to be some new stuff coming personally from me on the video game side of things on a separate YouTube channel. I'm gonna bring up, and then Mic Check Waifu Waifu's Patreon is going to get like a nice little a buff with our content too, like the After Story podcast and more video game content there as well. So make sure you guys support us at Patreon.com. Shout out to our Patreon producers AB and Brown, Dre to Go G, Johnny from Shogo High and only Shogo High. Please remember that. Ked the Pro from Chaotic Culture Podcast and Shogo High. Remember that. Explicitly from explicitly.com. Monique Williams and Nachi. Nachi, thank y'all, everybody, including you, Nachi, for supporting us. Nachi, I saw you just started watching Beast Tamers. Let me know what you think about that, because we follow each other on Addy List. This is a big show for you today. Big show for you today. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. There's some stuff that I watched that kind of made me sad but happy but sad, but kind of happy but sad again. There's also something I caught up on thanks to some of our listeners for praising it last week during our fall midterm episode. Thank y'all so much for listening to that episode. That was a very fun episode. 2 hours long that episode went. 2 hours long. We haven't went that long in a long time. Remember, we do Bleach Talk every 2 weeks. So next episode, 180 of Mic Check Waifu Waifu, Bleach Talk will be back with episode 6 and 7. So keep that in mind. Tell, how you feeling, brother?
Man, I'm real good, bro. I am really, really good. It's I've been kind of, I'm not gonna say lazy because I have worked every day, but I've been lazier than I have been.
Good. Why not?
Yeah, it took a little bit more rest than I have been lately.
That's good, man. We all need those. We all need those big time.
Yeah. How about you, bro? How you feeling, man?
Chilling, man. I'm losing my life to this Pokemon. I want to do more Call of Duty DMZ mode, though. I ain't gonna hold you.
Let's do it.
That's my favorite mode that Call of Duty's ever came out with, to be honest. It's just fun as hell. And I want to play this, finish up this God of War. I got a lot of stuff to play, bro. I
gotta play Sonic Frontiers.
Oh yeah, true. You gotta let me know what you think about that. I'm it's a lot, man. Tell, let's get into this anime talk early. What's your episode of the week this week?
All right, so hear me out, because I feel like it's a little contradictory to kind of how I've been explaining things in comparison to Polo. So my episode of the week was My Hero Academia this week. I really enjoyed this episode. They really did everything I needed. So yeah, My Hero Academia is my episode of the week this week.
It's hard for me to say. I mean, to be honest, it's hard for me to say anything else other than the show I always fucking say, which is pissing me off.
And no, look, I agree, because yes,
More Than a Married Couple
is a strong contender.
More Than a Married Couple is just fucking too good. It's just way too good, and it's I can't say anything is beating it. Everything else for me this week everything else this week was extremely not as good, except for Blue Lock. I would say Blue Lock was probably most improved this week than previous weeks that it had, obviously. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But everything was kind of rough this week as far as episodes go. And it's always like this after fall midterms. And I don't know why. After that midpoint on a lot of these anime, they tend to kind of like coast, if you will. Which makes me uncomfortable.
Think about it this way, right? From a production standpoint, and it doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but it kind of makes sense because you got to have a climax, right? At some point, like not the actual final climax, but you got to have a climax where this is where it gets good to keep people hooked in, and then they drop down to that low a little bit because you can't keep it high octane the whole time, can you?
Yes.
I know you can't. I'm saying that's what they're saying.
Cause I'm trying to figure out a way to word this. Like, for example, Eminence in Shadow. We talked about this every week on Spoiler Talk, how we wanted to become more known about his capabilities. This week it's just more of the same, and it's frustrating because we know what he could do. So
on Eminence in the Shadow, this is like my most unimproved anime so far because it's like, while it was a great trope to begin with, I really wish that they like we talked about several episodes before, probably about 3 episodes at this point, we would like to see a divergence or a understanding that this is not just, this is reality, this is real for him and not just something he made up.
Yeah, because I feel like we can't make progress. And
yes,
that's very, very frustrating. That's always been frustrating for me. That's the problem I had with like other shows that do kind of like a similar thing. We're not making any progress. And I will say this. Let's start off here, okay? Last week during the midterms, there was a show that got brought up multiple times. And again, I'm going to give credit to Dad Needs to Talk podcast, a.k.a. Rob, who said that, who recommended the show to us. And that's Do It Yourself, okay? Mm-hmm. TCB NYC had it very high on his list of shows for the fall midterms. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get past my watch one episode a week feeling I have with this show because I got to watch more. I got to just tough it out even if I don't feel like watching more of it. And not watching more of it, I get it. I get why he likes it so much. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenally, and not phenomenal, okay. It's just another one of those cute ones. It's Beast Tamers quality, like cuteness and just adorable. It's all about this all girls school who's in this club that is trying to remain open called Do It Yourself, where they're in the future of Tokyo, and Tokyo is doing technology and automation and robotics and stuff like that, but they're trying to still do it yourself by the old carpentry ways, if you will. And they got so far a group of 5, kind of ragtag group of girls who are just completely different from each other, but they're all so sweet and nice, and they're trying to just build the old fashioned way. And it's endearing. It reminds me of my time when I was a kid. This is a little quick story. When I was a kid, I had this infatuation with Tim the Tool Man Taylor. Okay. I used to want to be Tim the Tool Man Taylor when I got older. Because my father did a bunch of carpentry stuff. Like he actually, there was this barbershop on 123rd in Lenacrave that he built like right on the corner. He built that barbershop, and I used to help him out with with his fucking 2x4s and shit. And I used to help him build the fucking countertop of that barbershop. And it was great. It was a great time. I used to thought I was Tim the Tool Man Taylor back when I was younger. And just watching that just brought me back to those nostalgic feelings where I used to want to be a part of like just building shit. Mm-hmm. And it's sweet. It's very, very sweet. I like it. I like what it is. I think it's a show that everybody should watch. You know what? I'm not gonna say everybody, because not everybody will fuck with this, because this is like slice of life at its peak, where it's literally just slice of life. There's nothing, no drama, no romance drama, nothing. It's just
it's Hamtaro, but for DIY.
Yeah, it's virtually, I guess, Hamtaro if you are into that weird kind of shit. But it's
fight me.
It's very, very, very endearing, man. Because it's like the main character. She's this extremely clumsy girl who's nonchalant about everything. Who's just happy all the time. Nothing can bring her down. Her best friend, they call her Puddin'. Her best friend is this girl who is trying to evolve with the technology, who's trying to get older and be more mature, even though she still has that side of her where she's like trying to impress her friend. Well, right now she's trying to impress her friend that's this nonchalant girl, but the nonchalant girl just like, whatever, I'm just trying to chill. She's super clumsy and it's cute, man. It's a good show. I'm glad I picked it up and I added it to my week to week. Does this increase the score of what I gave the grade last week? No. We'll see at the end of the season where this falls, but it's still about a B. Boy, I can't believe I'm still watching that ninja one.
Shinobi no Toki?
Yeah, that one's trash.
Yeah, but bruh, I told you. Now, Gundam Witch from Mercury. It's been good. Like, it's more about the politics at this point, right? Because they don't shove the I have a giant mech in your face in terms of like how things go with that. They don't shove that giant mech stuff in your face for it. So it's still one of those things that's just really, really good. So
it's more like all Noah Zero then.
Yeah, and they have the I can't say it really without getting too much in it. But like I said, I'm bringing up the Gundam curse again. The fact that there is something like that and kind of how that affects the Gundam world is, I think, because I'm not like a super mech fan, as y'all know.
Yeah.
Polow knows, so I like very few mech, but this Gundam is one of the better ones in my opinion, like in terms of the story itself, just like how the story is already progressing. And the characters a lot of the characters are girls and they're just like kind of cute and wholesome. So
also one that was recommended last week during the fall midterms that everybody said that it was high on the list, including Huey, TJ, and I believe Jay too. A lot of people like that one. Witch from Mercury. There is another thing that I picked up. I saw, shout out to Saphir, okay? Saphir, we also follow each other on AniList, so make sure, again, if you're not following us on AniList, anilist.co/u/PolowBornFly/KingTeliano. I saw that he watched something that's not coming into theaters until December here in the US, which was the Quintessential Quintuplets Movie. I'm like, how do you watch that? Oh, you know what? He went to a site that shall not be named. So you know what? Since I can probably guarantee you in Houston, Texas, Quintessential Quintuple is probably not shown in the theater anywhere near me. I'll probably have to like drive to Dallas or some shit like that. I'm going to watch it on a site that shall not be named. Very high quality. Everything's perfect. It was just flawless. So I watched the Quintessential Quintuplets, and this goes back to a conversation we had quite a few weeks ago where we talked about how anime has continuations or canon through movies now. So for example, Quintessential Quintuplets have the 2 seasons and then the movie wraps it all up. Which makes me sad because now I'm not getting more Quintessential Quintuplets, but no more Miku, but it ended. And I tell you, the incredible writing, the incredible like culmination of everything in the way that ended was damn near flawless. Quick Polow review. This will probably be a 9 for me. Like just a quick review, a complete flat and utter 9. Did it end the way I wanted it to? No. But did the end work? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely it worked. And I say this from the bottom of my heart. It's really, really good. I'm not going to say anything about what happens or who's who and what's what, but it's really fucking good. It's unbelievably emotional. It's unbelievably fucking heartstrings pulling. It's so good to just finally see. You know what it reminds me of? Oh my God, this is the perfect example. The end of Quintessential Quintuplets is what My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu was. It was I know I have to make this decision. There's still some indecision, but you know what? I made my decision. And it's fucking fire, bro. It's so good. It's so good. Unbelievably good. And then like just family relationships within this show is powerful. It's strong. Very, very strong. I'm just shocked at how good it actually is. I was expecting it to be a bad rap, because most anime movies are a bad rap. But when you got 2 seasons building up to something so powerful, and the movie was 2 hours and 15 minutes long, and I watched it all, like I think the night after we recorded, I was still up. I couldn't go to sleep, so I'm like, fuck it, and I just turned it on and was like, oh, wow.
Did they have a season this season?
No, they this last time they had the season was last year, I think. The beginning of last year, like winter last year.
And is that the last season? And then this movie is like their capstone?
Yep.
Damn.
So season 1, season 2 movie.
Damn. You know what though?
I wish more people watched it.
I need to pick it up.
I think you should, man. I need to figure out who your favorite would be. I need to know.
Well, we'll find out next week on My Check Wi-Fi.
I'm telling, like my shit, my list changed so much when watching this show that like one of them went from the very bottom to like easily second, and I just love it, man. I just love it.
So you talking about the ratings on the quintuplets, like which one is where?
Yep.
I'm thinking you talking about your overall anime top 10 list changed so much watching it.
Ooh, did it? I mean, I think this was already in my slice of life top. We still got to do our genre tops. Yeah, but not my overall. It's hard to say though, because it's that good. It's really that good. What else you got? You got something for me?
Right. So I know. And I'm not, let me check to see exactly when this anime came out. Technically, all right, so this anime came out in 2021. So it's not technically part of the current season.
Oh, yeah.
But I picked it up because I saw, I'm just like, there's something out there. And I think you watched it, right? You picked it up a little bit, like one episode.
Yeah, the season that came out, I picked it up. 2 episodes.
So I watched 9 episodes of supposed kid from the last dungeon boonies move to a starter town. Now, I think the concept of it, I like the concept because he's from the last dungeon area.
Yes.
Meaning he is ridiculously powerful. He's the weakest person in his village. I like that idea, but nice. He is still supernaturally powerful to literally everyone else outside of that village, right? He's basically a god. And it's kind of cool, but I can understand why Polow didn't quite want to stick with it, because there are some very glaring issues. The main character actually isn't that enjoyable.
Yes, that's exactly it.
It's like the character, I guess, like if you don't think of him as the main character, but think of them as the cast, as like the main character, like they're just really creating a cast around him, it gets a little bit better. But I think that like I enjoy the same things about this that I enjoy about like Beast Tamers and stuff like that. Is that it just feels like you turn it on and you just know that. And I'm not saying like it's wholesome like Beast Tamers or anything like that. I'm saying good. That it's just no, but I'm not saying it's actually like that. What I am saying though is that the show has a quality, and I was thinking this when I was watching it. I was like, how am I going to explain this? The show is not good. Okay, I'm not saying it's good by any means, but
I think I know where
you turn it on, and it's kind of like you turn off your brain, and it just goes.
You just go. Okay, I think
like,
I know exactly.
It's not like I didn't pay attention to it either. I just turned it on, sat down, and just let it go. And it's dubbed already for this season, so it's like.
You're fine. Yeah, why not?
No, it's chill. It's really chill.
I get that.
But no, it's not good. It's not good. I have no idea what this story is gonna do. I do hate the main character. Everybody else isn't as bad. Like the fact that they love him, I think is cool. Like they all want his like love and stuff like that. I love that. But it's like the main character himself is like he is honestly probably like top 10 worst characters.
Extremely
like
mediocre.
MC.
Yeah, extremely mediocre. You know, I saw something that Rob J said. I love Rob J to death, man. He's a funny dude. But it just had me like, yo, what? And again, maybe our taste is just different. I feel like Rob J has great taste outside of his AOT take. So this kind of came at me a little strong, but his take on Chainsaw Man, he said Chainsaw Man is a 10. And if it wasn't for what did he say? If it wasn't for it'd be a 10 if it wasn't for something, but right now it's a 9. I forgot what he said the reason was. I obviously that don't matter because he gave it such a high score. What are you feeling about episode 6 of Chainsaw Man?
I was just talking about Chainsaw Man with someone at my part-time job, and how I feel about episode 6 is exactly how I feel about
the rest of it.
The rest of it, yeah.
Yeah, same.
And it's kind of the same thing we've been already saying and preaching. The pacing I'm on board with. I like how fast it is. The action I'm on board with. I want more of it. The characters ain't that great. They're cool. I'm ready to get to the stuff that I know is coming.
Yes. Okay, so the pacing stinks to me.
I want it to be breakneck speed because I'm tired. Like, it's a lot of stuff. I like for this story. What story details do we really need? So like kind of blow past some of that shit because I feel like if we don't get to the action, this is one of those anime that the story is not good enough to compel us to keep watching.
You got to keep watching because it looks so fucking pretty. But these last episodes are like, I did not think when I read this hotel one, I did not think it was going to be 3 episodes of this shit. I thought it was going to be maybe two. And then like 2 would be the cliffhanger that we got in this one. Obviously, we're not going to go into spoilers yet. But like, I'm like, yo, I'm so fucking bored. I just need something to happen. Like, I don't care about, again, like you said, I don't care about none of the characters. All of these characters absolutely are garbage. Oh, that's what he said. He said the gun devil is the reason why it's a 9. And I think the gun devil is the reason why it's probably like a 5. Because I think the gun devil brings it up and then everything else brings it down. The gun devil is the reason why it's not lower.
Are we talking about the story itself?
Yeah.
Or the entire anime?
I'm assuming that he's thinking of the story because when I think the gun devil, I'm thinking of the story beats of it. Yeah, and like that's the best part about it to me. Even though it's not, and I'm not saying that, don't misquote me. I'm not saying that part is good because the gun devil part is also very stupid, but it's something to go after.
With the world, even. Yeah,
it's something to go after.
It's like akin to Sukuna's fingers. Nah, I'm not saying it's that.
No, I know what you're saying.
Story, but you know what I mean. Like it's akin to that.
Yeah, it's something that world threatening, I guess. But I think the show can survive without Sukuna's fingers, though. You know, because it's other shit. Mm-hmm. That's like a problem too. You know what I mean? Like outside of the gun devil, what else is there in Chainsaw Man? Other devils, and it would just be Monster of the Week hunting devils, which I would be fucking cool with if every episode was just him going Chainsaw Man and popping the fuck off at this point, because I don't care about anything else. I don't care about your characters. And I mean, the world, you know, it's here. Is it good? I don't know. I just want to see shit die and look good dying, you know? But I figured this would be a great conversation because I don't see it, man. And this and Blue Lock are the 2 shows this season that is popping off on the anime sphere on Twitter. I found myself on Twitter when everybody was crazy enough to think that Twitter was going to get shut down. And I was just having fun on there, just looking at what everybody was saying and scrolling through stuff. And I saw some anime takes and I'm like, people really love Blue Lock and Chainsaw Man right now. And these are the 2 shows that's honestly probably some of the most middling, and I'm not going to use word mid because I hate that fucking word, but some of the most middling shows there is this season. Quite literally.
And I was surprised at your statement earlier. You said something about Blue Lock being a better episode this week.
Yes, this was a better episode only for the fact that somebody got some fucking character development. Somebody.
I guess so.
You know,
I guess so. That's true. But I wasn't feeling this episode either. And I'm only saying that for the fact that it still feels so like, I guess it's just not what I was expecting. Yeah. When the way that they explain Blue Lock, the way that they set this up, it makes it almost feel like this series is going to go from, and I guess it didn't start off that way. It's like, I thought this was going to be more cutthroat.
Yes.
I thought this was going to be a little bit more diabolical. And like, we got this little moment. We had this little moment that happened in the last episode where Kwon dude tried to sell off whatever. But, just that whole, that was probably, to me, like, I want to see more stuff like that, but like more demon level. I want to see some real cunning. I'm like, I'm shady, and I might kick you on your leg, even though I know you got dreams. And I want to see people really be like on some trash almost, because I feel like I feel the same thing for this that I feel for Chainsaw Man. As I want, bring me the action and the drama and the chaos. I want to see somebody kick the ball so hard that it knocked their leg back. I'm just trying to see something interesting, kind of, because that's what I guess what I expected, not this kind of slow paced, no real story context.
You want your Kiriko kind of shit.
But Kiriko has story, at least,
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I think the problem with the show is exactly what you said. I think the problem with it is that it's 25 episodes, right? I think if it was shorter, 24 episodes. I think if it was shorter, then it'd be more entertaining, because they will breeze past this tournament shit. This tournament shit is, I think, the reason why we feel the way we feel, because I think, and I'm hoping that after we get done with this tournament, it's going to go back to the individual side of this, which is what I thought it was going to be per episode 1 and 2. When episode 1 and 2 drop, and we like, oh, our character fucking knocked out this guy who was so friendly to him, who's like, yo, fuck that. I'm going to be the best. I'm about to knock out the best. And I'm thinking that's what this is going to be. And it's turned into this weird tournament arc for these characters I don't give a fuck about, because they didn't give any character development until literally this episode. And when I say character development, I mean the dude that betrayed him. That's character development too. And the dude that, unchained his torn ACL on his Montel shit. System Fail 3.
Montel shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like that piece was like, that was good, Yeah. And that was, not, okay, good is good for Blue Lock's sakes. It was good to see something, because watching this, I'm tired of seeing the same fucking shit.
And that's kind of like what I was saying too, is like, how did it go from episode like 2, where it felt like, wow, that's potential, like there's definitely an upward trajectory we can see with this, and then it comes down to this. This is more, it's turning into what I thought was going to be that bloodlusted 1v1 or 1v9, 1v10 kind of thing.
That's what it's supposed to be.
To power of friendship almost.
PUBG, the fucking Call of Duty Warzone kind of shit, not this weirdo let's be friends. I don't know, man. I'm either, this is what it's gonna do. Either it's gonna turn into some fucking Tamagotchi game shit and become like this fucking cutthroat battle royale like PUBG and Warzone, or it's going to start to become like, oh no, this is all for you to build the only one team. Everybody, we take people from these teams, and Team Z just end up being the best group of people that we decided to make the Japanese, like, or it could be that kind of bullshit. If it's that kind of bullshit, I'm never watching sports anime again in my life. That's how much
except Haikyuu.
Yeah, except for Haikyuu. That's how much I'm sure that it's not going to be that bullshit. I'm banking on it. Because y'all talk this shit up. And even with my tempered expectations for both Chainsaw Man and this, even though my Chainsaw Man expectation was a little bit higher, because I saw them trailers and I'm like, okay, maybe they're gonna pop off. But yeah, I'm feeling still disappointed in both of those, which are, go figure, two of the most popular. which fucking sucked because then this goes into another conversation I wanted to have is like, does I'm gonna just say it, fuck it. Does me coming off this way make me seem like a contrarian, or us, because we both feel the same way? Does it make us seem like contrarians because it's popular on the anime space and we're going against that? Or does like, how do you feel about it? I know I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like people are going to think that. Do I care? No, I don't really care if they think that. But I think I think it may suffer because of it. I don't know. So maybe I'm overthinking.
So we are not contrarians because we're not like. I guess we do reject the popular opinion, but we don't like.
We're not trying to reject. Like, it's not like.
Yeah, I think this is more of a setting of like, or how we value the different like components or spectrums in the anime, right? So like, if we just were like on our animation tip, we probably would like both Chainsaw Man and Blue Lock. Like, the animation is pretty solid on both of those, right?
Absolutely.
So we would probably be like, this animation is fire. This anime is fire. If we were just looking for sound design, we would say, off the rip, Chainsaw Man is it. We gotta that outro every week is on point. So
that's where all their money went.
That, right? But there's a lot of things that we could attribute to saying like this is a really solid, really good anime, but we're not being contrarians by sticking by kind of like our interests, right? Because we do have some similar interests, but we don't overall have the same interests. We technically dislike and like these shows for different reasons, even though we're giving them similar ratings.
Very true.
So it's like we're not technically being contrarians. If something is good, regardless of the point of view, you're going to find something really good in it. And we just don't necessarily feel like it's good. Not trying to be contrary. That's just not our interest.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think people, I don't know, maybe like I said, maybe I'm just overthinking it. Again, do I really care that much? Not really. As long as y'all listen and y'all enjoy the content that we're giving, I appreciate y'all even more. But like, I feel like y'all gonna be like, y'all, this fucking Polow guy is going against the grain again. Oh, did you hear his takes? Did you hear his takes on season 4 and 5 of My Hero? Did you hear his takes of fucking Attack on Titan? He's going against the popular opinion. No, I'm not. This is literally
Attack on Titan take.
Huh? What was my take?
That the ending wasn't good?
Yeah, it stinks. Absolutely stinks. Oh, okay. I don't know. I didn't play that close attention, I guess. I mean, I think it stinks like even now from literally the quote unquote final season up until probably, of course, when it ends. It's all stinks. It all has been garbage. But like, like right now, My Hero is some of my favorite shit. So there is like, it's literally season 6 is completely fucking making up for everything that I've watched season 4 and 5. Like, okay, this I was thinking about this earlier too. Fuck, I'm on a roll. I was thinking about this earlier, okay? Because every time I say season 4 and 5 sucks, Legal's like, in Legal Overdose, one of the buddies we game with, he's like, man, you crazy, man. Season 4 was fire. It was so fire. You mean that fight with Overhaul? I'm like, okay. So now what you looking at, you taking a 25 episode season, you looking at 25% of it and you saying it's fire. 25, what's 25% on the test, brother?
That's a ass. That's an F.
That's a big fat F. So you mean to tell me that 25% is literally going to take this My Hero season that's not good, okay? Even if you think that Overhaul fight was the best shit you've ever seen, it don't make the season good. And that's exactly what the points that I'm trying to make. 25% of My Hero season 5 was good. Does it make it good? No. Season 4 and 5 stinks. Okay, that's the point. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Is everything that anybody talks about in season 4 is the Overhaul fight. Anything that everybody talks about in season 5 is the Shigaraki shit at the very fucking end, which was decent. It was decent.
But also, that's also and I feel like I'm a bigger My Hero Academia fan than Polow. I'm just gonna say, because I do read the manga every week it releases, and I kind of stay on that. But, and I'm not trying to be like almost like an asshole when I say that, but like even at things like the animation, which a lot of people are going to look at the animation from season 1 to season 4 and 5. The animation, like in those final fights, even for me, from My Hero Academia, I feel like that All Might versus Nomu fight, that first one, was like more animation, like consistent. Like, right? I'm not gonna say it's better. It wasn't higher quality per se, but it was way more consistent than what we got in the Overhaul fight. Like, the Overhaul fight was high end, and then it was like okay, then it was high end again, and it was okay. Then we got a scene that was like they really dropped the budget in this, and then it was like okay. And I was like, yeah, that's cool, but I would much rather just have that the consistency, and I would like that to be in the animation and the story and everything.
Not to contradict you, but we literally just talk about how we don't even. The animation don't mean shit to us, right? Like we literally just talked about how if we talked about animation alone, then we would say Chainsaw Man is fire. So even still, with the animation being just mediocre, because it very much so was, you're absolutely right about that. Everything else from the pacing of the storytelling to where it was going it didn't feel good to watch. It was like extremely hard to watch for me. It was boring. It was ugh.
And that's kind of like what I'm trying to get into, right? Is I'm saying, yeah, the animation was inconsistent, but like the story pacing, that was consistent because it wasn't good the whole time. The sound design was inconsistent, but it had like moments where it was really good, and then it was just okay. Come on, Polow.
Sorry, the way you just kind of glid over that, shit was like butter. She was so funny.
Yeah, come on, man.
I'm sorry. That got me. He said it. No, because the story was consistently bad, and we know that. He just fucking glided right past it. Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry.
We talking about like the characters, the characters in even that season didn't feel consistent.
Right.
But if you look at season 1, everything was very consistent. Like the character, because we got very steady character growth, even leading into like season 2.
Absolutely.
Very steady character growth. Animation was the same. They didn't have this super like, and I think what kind of makes that even better is the fact that I guess at season 1 they didn't have like that super heavy following, so they had to go really lean into that. This is what we have to do to make sure it at least sticks with people and they keep watching to the end, I guess.
Right. Valid point. Yeah, and then like again, season 5, bro, you barely remember even anything that fucking happens. You got that school tournament, which was between class A and class B. Nothing from that is memorable. Then in the middle, I don't even fucking remember anything. I guess it was all the villain talk. So all the villains were doing shit and didn't care about none of those because it was what was it called? The resistance people. It was them. Don't remember anything from them. I just know that they end up joining the League of Villains at some point.
I 100% hate what you just said.
What?
And that you don't remember anything from season 5. And I don't. It's not that I hate that you said it because you're wrong. I hate that you said that because when I think of season 5, and even when I think of season 4, I don't think of the anime at all. Like I literally just think about what I read, and it's it's like the anime. I remember like snippets of it, but it's like, man, that really wasn't like. I didn't care.
You don't care about none of it. I ain't care about none of that shit. But season 6, when you turn on season 6, you're like, okay, so we could have just got literally 6 episodes of season 5 for the Shigaraki shit. And the Shigaraki shit going into season 6 would have been enough. It would have been enough. It would have been just enough for me to understand, okay, this is what's happening. And then boom, now we taking the fuck off. Now we are climbing at a pace that's like fucking so high that I don't think it shouldn't flatline. Because right now I'm pissed, okay, after what happened in this episode. I'm fucking pissed. I'm absolutely pissed. And we're going to talk about that in the second half of the show.
Yeah, I can't wait to see which part pissed you off.
Obviously. But like, I am in it again. I feel like I'm watching season 1 through 3 again. Like my excitement is back. Like there's so much shit I'm concerned about. I'm worried. I'm invested in characters that I've been invested in since 1 through 3. Like it's very, very, very important to me that this continues on this trajectory, and I'm hoping it's not gonna slow down. I'm praying that everything y'all said was right about the manga. This shit taking off. You know, it's my hero Twitter voice. Man, my hero is the greatest anime of all time. That's how y'all sound.
Is that being said?
Yeah, come on, man. That My Hero fandom is they're goofies, man. They're goofies.
They're not worse than Fairy Tail, but
they are worse than Fairy Tail. They're worse than Fairy Tail because they ship people that is and be all weird about it.
They shipping children.
Yeah, and then be all weird with the death threats to the artist. It's just all kinds of just weird, dumb shit that they do. My Hero is probably one of the worst of all time. Like they're terrible. They're terrible people, man. Deku and Kachan should be together. Shut up. How about you enjoy what you read or watched or whatever? Anyway, I digress. You ready to spin the roulette? This is part. Right there. This is part of the episode where we what we do. Where one of us rolls a random year for us to give you recommendations on. So, Telle wrote a year this year. Let's find out what year we're gonna recommend this anime in.
Uh, 2014.
2014. Not popular ones, obviously.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's popular. Interesting stuff, man. This is 2014, not bad. Oh yeah, easy. Okay. All No Zero. We had mentioned it earlier. It's a mecha anime. A mecha anime that's fucking very dark. Very, very dark. Very, very dark mecha. Probably one of my favorites. All No Zero for sure.
All right. I'm going to go with.
No, you can't do No Game, No Life. That's very popular.
I'm not doing that. I didn't even look at that. I mean, I saw it was there, but come on, bro. You got to give me more credit than that.
Of course.
I'm going to recommend. Definitely not that. All right. Well, nope, not that one. Hold up. Where's a good one? I don't want to say Monogatari because I feel like I said that too much.
Damn, there's a lot of stuff I watched here. I didn't even realize it.
All right, I did watch this one. Lord Marksman and Vanitas. It's
Lord what? No?
Lord Marksman and Vanitas. It's one of those stories. It's one of those retellings of like the Vanitas story. And it's historically, like, not historically accurate, but it's like the historical fantasy kind of thing.
I see.
Also, it's not super. I don't think it's as edgy as what I love stuff like Polow really, really likes, but it's a decent edgy one.
I never knew Initial D's final stage came out in 2014.
I was just talking about Initial D today too.
I watched that way after I watched it when I was in Texas the first time, and I watched it when I think I watched it in 2014. Great fucking show, bro. Great fucking show. Wow. All right. We'll be right back after these smooth tones. We're going to spoil. Let's go to what we're going to spoil. I'm going to give you all the episode number. So if you guys watched it, you can stick with us. Damn, we didn't even talk about what we're going to spoil today. We're going to spoil episode 8 of My Hero season 6.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to go? Obviously, we're gonna do More Than a Married Couple again because that always gives us a great conversation.
So you said My Hero Academia, More Than a Married Couple, and let's go with. I mean, you said you like Blue Lock. You want to talk Blue Lock?
Yeah. Let's talk Blue Lock. That's a good idea. Let's talk Blue Lock. Yeah, when we come back, and I'm also going to mention something about Spy Family Core 2 too. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to episode 179 of Mic Check Waifu. Listen, there's a quick thing I wanted to mention about Spy Family. I should have mentioned it before the break. We were already at the recommendation roulette though. So it was a conversation with Crystal on Twitter. She mentioned how she getting tired of the antics of Anya from Spy Family. Mm-hmm. I think I agree with her. I think you want to talk about a show that hasn't progressed at all. Mm-hmm. Spy Family Core 2 has had probably 1% progression, and that was like the first few episodes with the dog when they got the dog. Other than that, I don't feel like the show's been going anywhere. It's just been hijinks of the week, which not to say that that's bad. I still like it. I just need more Yor. She's incredible. But other than that, it's not much there.
I agree.
Yeah, it's like
goodness, I'm so upset that I actually agree with that. But
you're right.
I've been feeling the same.
Yeah, it's like, where are we going here? And we got a few more episodes left.
Like I said, my wife, who is not an anime connoisseur, she literally said the same thing because we watched, and I hate to say it because we're going to talk about More Than a Married Couple in a second. We watched More Than a Married Couple first, and then we turned on Spy Family, and she said,
"That's a big mistake."
Watching this is almost like, why even turn it on? She said it's not that it's not good, like it's cool, but she said I literally just came from wanting to see what happens next in More Than a Married Couple. And then you turn on Spy Family and you're just like,
bruh, that's why that's exactly why I have a specific order in which I watch stuff. Because I've been so enthralled with Pokemon, I watched all my stuff literally this morning. I woke up at 7 o'clock this morning, fucking bombing through anime. I had like 9-10 shows to watch. I'm like, fuck, I'm watching them. And I'm like, damn, okay, let me make sure I do this right. The order I did it in, actually, I can tell you because it shows up on AniList. The order I did it in is the exact order that you see on AniList. So the first thing I watched was Love Flops. Terrible episode. God-awful episode. Then it was Blue Lock. Then it was Do It Yourself. Then it was Mob Psycho 3. Then it was Yuzuki-chan Wants to Hang Out Season 2. Then it was Spy Family. Then it was My Hero Season 6. Then it was Beast Tamers. Then it was Eminence and Shadows. And then it was More Than a Married Couple, but not Lovers. I think that was the perfect order in which to watch this, because with More Than a Married Couple, I'm like, fuck, I ain't got shit else to watch, but I need that time to decompress from what the fuck I just saw, which is powerful. Starting off with My Hero though, this shit was too much. It was too much. It was so good. It continues to be good.
Bro said it was too much.
It was too much, bro. I don't understand. I'm starting to not understand these fucking powers though. This Shigaraki shit is too much. It's starting to not make sense. This motherfucker said full cowling 100% Wyoming smash, and it did nothing. Nothing happened.
But the reason it did nothing is because of how Shigaraki caught it, right? I definitely think
his whole fucking mouth should be broken.
But Shigaraki's on par with him physically.
Do I believe that? Nah, I don't believe it. But I see what you're saying.
Okay,
I get it.
Okay, all right, let's fix it. He's not on par with him physically. He's stronger than him physically. Shigaraki can body bag him if he need to. But that's it. He don't have right now extra quirks to even combat what Deku can do.
They spent so much time talking about how strong One For All is.
Now you also have to understand.
Hold on.
No, go ahead.
They spent all this time talking about how strong One For All is, to then give Shigaraki 4-5 episodes of genetically modification to now become more than the 100% full cowling Wyoming smash. You gotta be fucking me, dog. There's no way in hell I'm gonna believe that. As a watcher, as an anime watcher, I don't feel it. I don't feel like I believe it. I'm only anime watcher. I don't feel like it was explained well enough. I don't feel like it was delivered well enough. I don't feel like it was shown well enough that he should be this fucking powerful. And it's frustrating. It's a little frustrating, but frustrating in a way like I'm fucking captivated as to how and why, that kind of frustration, which, I think from anybody watching it from my perspective will feel the same way. Like, what?
So you feel like Deku should be on par with Shigaraki right now?
I feel like he should be stronger than Shigaraki, absolutely. Because only when he not verbatim base, okay? I know not verbatim base. No, I'm not going to say that but when he said full cowling 100% Wyoming smash, I'm expecting a fucking crater in the ground because. When he's doing 25%, there's a fucking crater in the ground. So I was just a little confused. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm gonna say a couple of things here, right? We know that, and he said it before we even got here, he still can't go 100%. He can only do 100% at the point of impact, right? He can't do 100% and carry all the way through, right?
Irrelevant because he did that. He said that. They showed the fucking thing where his arm glows like crazy when he did do as much power as he possibly could, and that shit breaks. He did that. It showed that.
Now we're talking about essentially this is what happened. Deku's punch is a baseball. Shigaraki's mouth is a mitt. The baseball don't really hurt the mitt if you catch it properly. So that like in terms of like physics, I get it, right? Like that's how. I'm not saying that he should have been able to he shouldn't have been able to stop that because I mean it's his teeth. He should have broke a tooth or something, right?
He should have broke his entire fucking jaw.
But we're talking about somebody who is meant to house the ultimate power. The ultimate power being all for one, right? We don't really Deku don't know how to control one for all. He can't do it yet. He still has not mastered using one for all at 100%.
But this genetically modified motherfucker just can't.
He don't have a choice with his power output. He don't have a choice with that. It's different where Deku came from not having a quirk at all and not having a body compatible with a quirk at all to getting one of the strongest quirks in the entire world and then having to modify and grow his body and learn how to use it. Not modify, but grow and learn how to use his body with the quirk and stuff like that. Versus you got somebody who had a quirk. His quirk was literally to decay everything. He was decaying himself sometimes, and then he gets genetically modified from beings that we have seen the durability from them, taking hits from All Might and not actually taking physical damage. And these quirks, we know that those physical body quirks aren't ones that can be erased from Eraser. The only thing that can be erased is stuff like the regeneration, the actual power of touching and decaying things. That kind of stuff can be stopped.
That's true.
But we know that his body is fully modified in a way that is not necessarily you can't say it's congruent to the human form. It's not like you hit Shigaraki and you're not hitting a that went to the wall.
Sure, but I guess All Might is not Deku, and that's where I gotta put my mind into perspective, because again, when All Might said 100%, what was it, fucking St. Louis in season 1 or whatever the fuck it was, when he fucking sent that Nomu to space with that shit. That's where my mind went when Deku said it. But I guess I have to remember that 100% from Deku is not 100% from All Might, because he was much more compatible. So that's where I guess I am confused. I got a little overestimated Deku.
And Deku also is not in his prime. I would assume he's not in his prime, right? Because he hasn't mastered the quirk. How can he be in his prime? He's still got 7 more
fucking quirks or some bullshit like that. It's pretty. He got 7 more plot armors. It's kind of like, it's irritating.
Shigaraki got plot armor.
Yeah, of course. Shigaraki shit it's still a little, again, like you said last week, a little bit written in the corner kind of shit. Because it's like, I don't have a choice but to send some bullshit in order to make this make sense. Because if I don't send bullshit, there's gonna be no point, because can't nobody fuck with anybody they have until now. Which I get, and that's a writer issue.
And in let's just talk about every good video game you played, right? Was the final boss not on some bullshit?
No.
Right.
I mean, when you say that, you think about shit like Kingdom Hearts, trash ass game, of course.
Final Fantasy VII,
a trash ass game for Kingdom Hearts, and of course they were written in the corner because the writing stinks. Final Fantasy VII, that's a little bit different. Okay, that writing for Final Fantasy VII wasn't the best. It wasn't the best either. Okay, but it was also more congruent and made more sense than fucking Kingdom Hearts. Not the point. This is not a video game conversation.
Pokemon Red, was Red not a demon who was not the overpowered, ridiculous dude that you had to go? You meet him for the first time, he shits on your soul.
Yeah.
You come back and you can finally beat him.
Yeah, but
it's the same. Every game has some version of that.
I'm thinking of like fucking
Undertale. You got Sans at the end, and he destroys your life.
Okay. We're not going to do this. You just brought up Undertale. So what I'm saying that was the fucking point of that entire. Anyway, I just think that there's a lot of anime where you got people written way better than this. Okay, and Shigaraki is not written well. There's no convincing me that he is. His powers, his fucking like. You just think about it. He should have just been this from the first place, or they should have used the other guy that All Might was fighting. They should have just used him some other way or something like that. Whatever they could have, they kept it more original because you got people like fucking in the anime sphere like Aizen and shit, where they were just there, and you get their backstory, and their backstory is like, oh, this motherfucker's a genius. Like you get shit like that. You could do a lot better. You get even fucking this Quincy King guy, what we're getting from that shit is like it's blowing my fucking mind. It's so good. It's all so good. But this shit it bugged me. But that don't matter because you know why that don't matter? Because the emotions it invoked with our characters from Class 1A is what this is about. And I think that cannot be understated how good the development of Class 1A is. And that's what I think My Hero Season 6 is about. Like, even seeing what they did with Gigantomaculus, or whatever the fuck his name is, what Class 1A was doing with fucking Red Riot, man. Wonderful dude. Even...
You hated him in the Shigaraki, or not Shigaraki, the
Season 4
arc.
Yeah, it was a terrible arc. But... Even Overcharge, what he was about to do, he got his ass beat, but that's okay to see that shit, like, because you care about these characters. Like, oh no, even fucking the acid chick, her little oh no, I'm PTSD kind of shit. That kind of was like, okay, well, it's not the time for that. For you to just not be able to.
She also realized that was the same person that she met that helped her that time. That she was afraid of.
Oh, I forgot about that. You're right. But still, not the time to kind of like do that.
Yeah, had that breakdown.
Yeah, had that breakdown there. It was a little weird, but everything else is so fire. Fucking the chick that got the summon shit out of her body. I don't remember her name. She was incredible.
She's a genius. So
yeah, absolute genius. Deku, fucking. Even during this fight was awesome because he's like, yo, I got to do what I got to do to stop him from doing what he's doing. Now, to get to the moral of the story, the crux of this whole fucking conversation, the reason why I'm so pissed off, okay, Montel, is why Aizawa, man. This shit is done. This is like, that's it. That
but why not Aizawa? He's the one that you should have got. And then, you know, I'm not surprised that's what you would bother you, because no matter that fucking bouncy man got a hole through his stomach and he's only a fucking foot tall. He ain't that big. He got a whole hole through his stomach.
Wait, bouncy man got a hole in his stomach?
You ain't see what Shigaraki did to him?
Bouncy man got a hole in his stomach.
The one who trained
Gran Torino.
Yeah, Gran Torino got a hole in his stomach.
Yeah, but who gives a fuck about Gran Torino? I didn't care about Gran Torino, man. I'm sorry. Gran Torino was about as memorable as the time I tied my shoe this morning to take Saber out. I don't remember that. You know what? I didn't even tie my shoe to take Saber out. It was already tied. I just slipped them on. Like, I don't give a fuck about Gran Torino, okay? I'm sorry. He's whatever to me. He was I forgot about him after they gave me season 4 and 5. Okay, he was
All right, cool,
season.
bro.
If this happened during season 3 when he was training Deku and it was that he was getting close to Deku, all right, that's cool. But I forgot about Gran Torino a long time ago. You know what I'm saying?
I think like 2 years ago, Spicy had me on her podcast, and we talked about this scene. Because we literally talked about who we think is gonna get whose body was gonna get caught, right? Who was gonna take that L, and lo and behold, we saw that moment where Gran Torino was like, "Damn!"
It was Tortitos.
He catching bodies everywhere, man. And I love that. I love when the villain can actually take some people with him.
Yeah,
you know, and I like when it's significant characters to like the main character, you know.
Yeah,
so I thought it was cool. That's the part that got me. But the Aizawa part, obviously, bro. Obviously. Now we know it's not permanent because we did see Lemillion pop up. We know that they can reverse that. But in this moment right now, it's hard for anything to be reversible because Shigaraki about to have full access to his quirk plus some.
Yeah. Well, you kind of just overshadowed my gut check because I'm gonna say it anyway, even though it's not true. I'm just gonna be in denial. Who gives a fuck? I'm in denial, so I'm gonna say the shit he shot at Aizawa was just a broken needle. It didn't work. It didn't stab him. He still got his eraser powers, and he's still getting erased. From the looks of it, that's not true. But I digress because shout out to the episode preview because Todoroki's showed up for some reason. I forgot that he was in the show. Where the fuck was he? Oh, he was helping the people evacuate. So yeah, yes. He's gonna pop up. That's looking cool. But I'll say this: I think a couple of more bodies gonna get dropped. Couple of more, and I'm thinking the Dragon Bra gonna be one of them. Girl, sorry. And probably either Lock Bolt or the Waterman. Whatever the fuck.
The Waterman.
Yeah. But I think Aizawa ain't going nowhere yet.
You think Rock Lock gonna be gone?
Yeah. Because he's fodder. He's fodder.
You're not wrong.
And then the Water Boy is gonna be gone because he was literally keeping Aizawa afloat. He was single-handedly carried Aizawa, like literally. Like if he didn't keep his eyes wet, bruh, shit would have been over a long time ago. Because all Aizawa would have had done was blink, and that shit would have been, and so many motherfuckers would have died there. You know, don't blink.
Don't blink, bro. And his eyes out. He got blink. He got He got to do 5 blinks in a second because man, his eyes is dry.
No, that millisecond. All it takes is a millisecond for something just to start the decay. So it'll be over. It'll be fucking over. Let's move on. Let's go to Blue Lock.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, shit. Did we go to Blue Lock?
I thought we was going to More Than a Married Couple first.
Maybe we don't do Blue Lock because we did it earlier in the show.
Yeah.
We pretty much said everything too about the character growth and the leg and fuck that. We punting Blue Lock and talking about More Than a Married Couple.
Like they supposed to be doing soccer balls.
More Than a Married Couple again continues to be fantastic. It continues to show growth. Even the light comedic moments that's in this show is don't overstay its welcome. It continues to be flawless, in my opinion. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. This has been a flawless show.
This has been my least favorite anime of the season for the sole purpose, in fact, that like I ain't want to enjoy this shit this much.
Yeah, bro.
It's so draining to know that I'm gonna wake up today and I'm gonna watch a good ass anime. And what's draining about it is that it's so good that every time we get to the end of an episode for More Than a Married Couple, I'm like, well, what's the next episode? Just like what my wife said, I'm ready for the next episode. This is one of those anime that 100% I would have binged.
Straight
I would have had this shit done in a day.
Easily a day, bro. The first, I would have started at 12 and ended at like 5, man. There's no way I would have stopped watching this shit because you have to just know because it flows so nice. And it's not like whole ass cliffhangers like Eminence and Shadow did us. It's like cliffhangers. It's like fuck, man, damn. Like it mellows out, but it's like fuck, man. I really want to know what's about to fucking happen next.
And you know what's cool about how they do end More Than a Married Couple episodes? It's like they always end it with a cliffhanger, but they don't necessarily always address the cliffhanger in the beginning of the next episode or anything like that. They just go because it's like
flows.
Yeah, it's not meant to be addressed. It's meant for you to have that closure or that appearance of closure.
Well said.
So you can still think about it. So I love that too because they do it so well, and then they leave us on moments that either our heart is racing and we like, okay, next, what's next? What's next? I need next. What got next?
How emotional did you get when you saw her at the festival? I'm emotional. I'm being hyperbolic here, but how emotional did you get when you saw her at the festival and you saw fucking Tenjin pull up? Like, did your heart fall to your asshole like mine did? Again, I'm being hyperbolic.
That wasn't the part that got me. It was the in front of the door. Sitting at the door, that shit, I was like, oh, because I already knew, and I think a lot of it was just like up, you know, because like I already knew she was gonna be hurt from that, and I think it was crazier because we get to see really what's going on, right? Yep. But she doesn't. So from her perspective, it's like, damn, which
you completely understand
because she don't know no better, right? There's no way for her to know better. So in that moment when at the festival, no, I wasn't really like that.
I was like, damn, man.
But she probably also felt bad, not just for, you know, herself. You know, she didn't just feel bad for herself. It's
that's exactly
the
where I was
guy that she is falling in love with, and the girl that he is in love with. To her, it appears that they are not. That's not what's going on. Like he's never going to have a chance to be with her. And she wants to serve. She wants to do something that serves him, but also while in the moment, like you talked about last episode, for this time while we're together, let's be together.
That's exactly what I was going with. That, like, I like that she was conflicted with her emotions on not just herself, but with Jiro too, and the fact that she was like, "Well, shit," and her inner monologue, which is again so very important in these kind of romance animes, is so fucking flawless, so perfect. And her inner monologue is like, "Why was I relieved that Tenjin wasn't coming? Why did I feel good about that?" And it's because she don't want this. Oh God, it's so confusing for her. I feel so bad for her because her friends is like, yo, you know, her friends want nothing but the best for her. Like they're like, you know, let's do this to see if she feels this way or if she really feels for Jiro. Like it's every character in the show is like, there's no bad character in the show. Did you notice that?
Not a damn one.
Not a damn one. Like you just like when her two friends had the conversation they had, I'm like, oh shit, they really down for her. Like they're like, yo, we'll support her if she like Jiro, but we want to make sure that the love she had for Tenjin is either gone or it was real first.
And I still want to know about the character from last week that was in love with her, that want to date Shiori.
Oh, that's right.
I still want to know about her. It's so much stuff. Like you said, there's no bad characters. And like you said, the characters who care about her and they're like realizing that, you know, that, yeah, she really actually does have a thing for Jiro. She does have a thing for Virgin Kun. And I'm like, hey, it's cool. It is what it is. And like,
she doesn't know that yet, though.
Fully. She knows she's not committing to it because she is now currently in the same emotional position that Jiro and Shiori are in. Shiori. Is that her name?
Yeah. Right.
Because they've been friends forever, right? But they've never expressed that they actually truly like each other. So they have that conflict, that battle there. Now, Akari,
she's so awkward, man. She's so awkward. Shiori.
Yeah. And now Akari clearly, like, we know she clearly likes him, but she also still has not made that clear. Just like Shiori, he has not made it clear that he actually has some kind of feelings with her. So he has not spoken any kind of clarity to anybody. And these women, I mean, come on, you expect them? I'm not. Are you expecting them to speak that clarity? They need him to step up and just do it.
He can't though. Like, how can he? Just be like, yo. He tells Akari the truth. Like, listen, I like Shiori. She knows it.
Yeah. I mean,
he doesn't know himself why he feels the way he feels. Like at the end of this episode, we were talking about like, why did I feel relieved when she was here?
And that's the beauty of it, because these are high school students.
They don't understand, man.
And I mean, and you know what's funny is that I feel like as a high school student, while I was not timid, I did have a lot of these thoughts, man. Like sometimes these were thoughts that ran through your head, even though like I know
absolutely
I'm shy. I never had an issue like that. But you know, you might still think like, man, I hope maybe she really likes me, you know, and I want to see how things go.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff, you know. So yeah, I mean, it seems very realistic in that regard, and I do see why he could struggle, just being able, not knowing I've been in that kind of position mentally. So I do see how he could struggle, but it's also like you got to pick one, bro. You got two bad ones in the room, and you got to choose either the I know that's the good wife one, and I know that's the Gyaru's, that's the everything else.
And you know what I hate about this conversation, and it's nothing against you, is that I hate the fact that you make it so simple, because it could be, but it absolutely isn't. And I don't in this particular situation, could it be though? Because you got this practical going, you got all kinds of rules of this shit where you got to be like committed. And if you're committed to doing the shit you're supposed to do for this practical, then you can switch. But if you're doing everything you can do to be committed to this practical, there's no way you're not gonna catch feelings.
And I don't disagree with that at all, because I think you're 100% right. The simplification is to show like not necessarily what his thought process should be, or even what my thought process should be. It's just more like how I know I would address it, because I'm going to simplify it. Yeah. I'm a problem solver. If I can solve the problem, I'm going to try and get the problem solved.
I'm ready. Now, here. Listen, I'm conflicted. I will be just like this. I'm conflicted. Okay.
I need a break. I need a minute.
I need you guys to tell me what you want here. Okay. Because I like my childhood friend, Akari. I'm starting to you starting to send these signals that are confusing me, because you know I like her. You said you're going to help me with her. So what are we doing here? What do you want to do here? And then that's where I will be at in this kind of particular situation.
And like you said, with the practical, it is an actual exam, right? This is something that they're getting graded on. They need this to graduate, essentially. Yes. And the wildest thing about that is I think the exam is set up in a sense like almost like a real marriage, not just in the sense of like what they do inside the room matters. Because let's say they do have a really, really good relationship where they can switch. And like you said, they take that risk of switching partners, regardless of whatever the hardships may be. Because let's be real, even if it's not going well, that does not mean your relationship is actually the most stable. It means you're a very good fucking actor. And some of those relationships that are actually really shitty right now, they're building on foundations because they didn't know each other. And then in the future, they're probably going to have an amazing relationship because now they know each other. They got to learn about somebody that they never even cared about. And what the ridiculous thing about it is that the reason I say is really set up kind of like a real marriage is because at some point in the future, you know, they really develop their relationship and they become really good couples. That doesn't mean that they're actually happy. They can still say, you know what, we have a good marriage and I need to go ahead and say I can't do this anymore.
Montel Williams.
Then you can choose a different partner.
Montel Williams.
What's up?
What is the full title of this show?
More Than a Married Couple, But Not Lovers.
Fucking right, bro. It's insane, because everything you just said is exactly the title of this fucking show. It's more than a married couple. You kind of like each other a little bit, but we're not lovers, because I love her. You love him. It's fucking, bro, you blew my mind with that entire thing you just said. Because as soon while you were saying it, I'm like, fuck, the name of the show is More Than a Married Couple, But Not Lovers. The writer of this, she is unbelievable. Okay, Yuki Kanemaru, you are incredible. Okay, I need to find more of her work. Is this the only thing she has? That's the only thing she got credit for? I'm gonna look her up. I'm gonna do some research because I need to know what else she's writing, because this is way too good.
I agree.
This is 100%. Way too good. So hopefully this continues to be as good as it is. Okay, this is gonna be I'm gonna do a fast forward gut check, because this was episode 7 that we just watched, past the half, which again, the half continues to grow here. Do you think with this show is gonna wrap at 12? or is it continue? Is it going to continue for a season 2?
I think it has to continue for a season 2, and the only reason I say that is because
interesting.
We're not. I don't think we're close to the end of the year, are we?
The school year. They just had midterms.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, maybe they can, but I feel like if they do, then it's not going to keep the same quality that we get, and they just fast forward so much that we miss all that good quality like we've been getting. I hope not. So let's say, I think we definitely have to have a season 2.
Okay.
Because I think that something has to change, right? Like, I think if season 2 introduces something like, what's his name, Megami, like we talked about, he doesn't like any of the girls. He likes somebody entirely different. He starts taking the exam with someone else. Shiori, because they had such a good thing and something happened where they weren't able to switch, Shiori ends up switching with someone else. And this person probably actually likes Shiori. And that will create an entirely different dynamic.
You know, I'm going to go somewhere else with this. I don't think it's going to be a season 2, unfortunately. And I do think I'm learning that Tenji or Minami or whatever his name is, Minami or Manami likes Shiro for real. I think that's who he wants to be with, which is very unfortunate for Akari, because now you got to think Manami likes Shiori. Shiori likes Jiro. Jiro likes Shiori and Akari, you know, in quotations. So that would mean this is all based off of Jiro. Literally all falls on our main male character, I should say, because they're both Akari and both Jiro's the main characters, which was done extremely well, by the way.
I still don't think Minami likes, like, it's just something about
that was my thought at first, but he was like,
I do think you got a point.
He was like, listen, like, I appreciate you. I'm sorry for always making you come with me for shop. Like that whole interaction they had was so him being so pleasant. Maybe he just is a nice guy, but after the gym scene, man, I feel like that's who he wants, because he said, I'm willing to stay with her forever. Now, meaning forever, meaning to the end of the test, that will probably makes the most sense. It's probably what he was referring to, but
right.
I can't help but to think like there has to be more to that. And with that, let's wrap. Or do you want to talk about Eminence, or are we good?
Nah, we good. Eminence and Shadow was
rough episode.
Yeah, real rough. We just finished talking about More Than a Married Couple. Greatness, as you know, we love this favorite episodes of the week every week. My Hero Academia, man, they keep hitting us with some greatness this week. You know, Polow's feeling season 6, so it's got to be a good season. Spy Family hasn't progressed really, but you know, it still gives us some wholesome cleanliness on the timeline and just in general for anime, our cleaner anime palettes. On that break, let us know what you thought about that song curated by Polow. Our recommendation roulette was from the year 2014. I chose Lord's Marksman and Vanitas, and Polow chose I'll Know Zero. We also talked about season 4 through 5 of My Hero Academia, Blue Lock, Chainsaw Man, and Supposed Kid from the Last Dungeon Boonies married to the start or moves to a Star Town, as well as Quintessential Quintuplets. Polow gave it a quick review. Let us know what you thought about that review. Gundam Witch from Mercury, DIY, and that was kind of like our midterm recap from the previous episode that we talked about in episode of the week, My Hero Academia, More Than a Married Couple. That's the episode 179 of Mike Check Waifu.
I'm at Polo Bornfly on all social media.
I'm at King Telle on all social media.
You can follow our social medias at Mike Check Waifu on Twitter and at Mike Check Waifu on Instagram and TikTok. And as always, Mike Check.
You're now tuned into Mike Check Waifu.